This then connects to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2030. It's all interconnected. We send over our civil servants to these UN meetings. They come back with all this stuff. And then there is, but there's a kind of a coven of brewing going on in academia behind this, and very, very much pro this whole theory, this critical theory. And
I think it's important.
Can we just name names? Where are the centres of excellence? Let's just call it that. Inverted. Where's it coming from in Ireland? Who's pushing it?
I think we're seeing it particularly with regard to the primary curriculum and obviously the SPHE course. We're seeing it in DCU. We do have there's UNESCO representatives in DCU and in Galway. I think it's across academia.
Galway University and DCU would be the two.
Yeah, the university.
centers.
So, but this theory has taken root in the humanities departments across most Western European or most Western universities in general, in Ireland, everywhere, over the last 20, 30 years. This has taken root, this whole notion of critical theory. And it's combined with postmodernism.
Yeah.
So again, people might quite know what postmodernism is, but postmodernism brings another layer on top of this. The postmodernists were Marxists as well, but they had their own take on the philosophy of Marxism, etc. And that just kind of added to it. It added certain dimensions to it.
But let me help you there. The postmodernists believe that there's no universal truths. There's no fixed identities.
But here's the point. But they do believe in systemic racism. They do see that as a universal truth. So there's a contradiction going on with postmodernism, because there's certain things they do believe in oppression. This whole notion of oppression and social justice to overcome oppression. So, and the whole thing of what underpins critical race theory in terms of systemic racism, whiteness, white privilege, the notion of white privilege. They see those as absolutes, and you can't debate them. So all of these terms. Sorry, most people will find this mind blowing. Just say what? I can nearly hear them saying it. It's like there's a word factory, and they're in it, and we're not, and it's being pushed through the curriculums. Then at our children, the children are being given books that are being kept in the classroom and not coming home to mum and dad, and in some cases, kids in classroom and in these SPHE, we used to call it civics years ago. This SPHE. Oh, CSP, yeah. CSP is the subject.
Yeah, they're being told whatever is discussed in the classroom, not to be reporting at home. And there's proposals that the play around this will be a combination of the children making it along with the teacher. Like it'll be a collaboration between the two sides.
Co-production, yeah.
A co-production of all of this stuff. Yeah. And then it gets into, because I've seen the docs, listened to Jana talk about, I've seen the stuff, when it reaches, as young as 12 years of age, they're talking openly about things like group masturbation and rimming and anal sex. It's just mind-blowing that's actually there, and it's been stood over. And the actual genesis of all of this is that we have to reform the basic unit of society, which is what's happening when you indoctrinate kids this way, in order to create agents for social change to equalize the world as they see it into the future. I mean, that's the nub of it, isn't it?
It is, and people again they struggle with the sexuality aspect of it. But when you think of it, that the view is that heteronormative view of sexuality, that more conservative view of sexuality, that's seen, and even childhood innocence, the notion of childhood innocence, they're all seen as oppressive structures. They need to be dismantled. And there's one of the queer theorists is a lady called Gail Rubin, and we've covered her in a couple of our videos. And she had a thing called the charmed circle. So the charmed circle was the kind of normal sexuality. And then she had a thing called the outer limits. And we'll put a link to the description because you can download it and have a read of it. And the outer limits would be these other things that we're talking about, these other sexual practices. They're adult kinks and fetishes, intergenerational sex, sex in public places, all of this kind of thing. And that's because you have to break down the norm. Like, that's breaking down the norm. You have to transgress because the norm is oppressive.
Yeah.
Like, that's the nub of it.
Yeah, which is just what you want. Which is just what you want to hear when you've got one of those teenagers or a gaggle of them that are all going through the I hate my parents couple of years, and they're getting this stuff put into their heads in school.